Have you been dying to fly in an airplane, but you weren't sure if you'd fit?
How the word obese is a slur.
So I finally got this new GI doctor that I had to fight for. And I told him that I haven't been eating because it causes pain and like I'm in pain when I eat. And he looked at me and had the audacity to say, that's not such a bad thing.
What's up everybody, my name is Amir Odom and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be reacting to a plethora of body positivity and fat positive content out there because, well, we've been seeing this trend grow, but it's just so unreal to me that there's genuinely people out there that are encouraging other people to just be big. Force other brands and companies to accommodate you being big, as if when you boil it down, I mean, it low-key is leaning more towards being a choice to be that big. It's all so insane to me, and if you like this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton, and without further ado, let's just get right into this.
Have you been dying to fly in an airplane, but you weren't sure if you'd fit? Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers. And we
No.
range in sizes from 2x to 5x. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus size tips and tricks. Flying as a plus size person can cause a lot of anxiety. Between worrying about if the seats are too narrow or if you'll need a seatbelt extender, there's a lot to think about. We've been flying with Southwest for years, mostly because of their amazing customer of size policy. If you think that your body will extend over the arms of the chair, you are able to book an extra seat and you will get refunded for it after your flight. It's super.
Is that not crazy? Southwest honors big people to take up more seats and then they get reimbursed for it. You get reimbursed for being big for flying Southwest. This is just so mind-blowing to me that it's this accommodating. Because on one end, I kind of appreciate it. Like, you're making room. Like, if you know someone's that big, like, you're making room for them so they're not like spilling out onto somebody else. But at the same time, you're charging if my bag is over 50 pounds. Like, if you're flying Southwest and you have a bag that's over 50 pounds, you get charged like $100 and $125. But if you're big, you can take a whole seat on the plane and they'll reimburse you for it. That's crazy.
Just book as 2 passengers, and for the second one, you put XS in the middle name. This will automatically be recognized as an extra seat in their system. When you get to the airport, you print your boarding pass as you normally would. You will get 2 boarding passes, one for you and one to display on your extra seat. This will let other people know that that seat is reserved. When you book an extra seat, you automatically get pre-board, and this is to ensure that you and your extra seat can sit together. You're also able to bring a friend with you to pre-board, which we think is so nice. We like to ask for our seatbelt extender as we're boarding, and the flight attendants are super nice and discreet about it. The armrests between the 2 seats do come up so you're able to be more comfortable. We recently flew in their MAX 8 plane, which is super new and
So basically, if you big, you can fly with a friend. Y'all both get pre-board and then you get a whole row to yourself because you get your seat, the extra seat, and then your friend. For being big, y'all, like,
very spacious. As a 2X, I did not need a seatbelt extender and the tray table came all the way down. When your trip is completed, you can call Southwest and they will either refund the points that you paid or the cost of the second ticket. This policy makes flying more comfortable for everyone, not just us. We are so grateful that Southwest offers this.
and like, it's hard because that is true. It makes sure that all the big people aren't impeding on other people's spaces, but again, it's still inconsistent on how you're charging people for how much bag weighs, but not how much people weigh. Like, you're losing money because people are big. I don't know. That one's a little tricky. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious because, like, on one end, like I said before, it makes sense. Give them enough room. But on the other end, it's like, at least be consistent and not charging other people for a little thing.
Have you been dying to ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey at Universal's Islands of Adventure, but you weren't sure if you'd fit? Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers.
Okay, so they legit are plus size park hoppers. Okay, I went to this person's channel. They're called plus size park hoppers, and they go around to different theme parks and basically giving like the big experience for other big people out there, which it is kind of sweet. Like, you're letting people know, like, hey, if you big and you're trying to go to this park, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what you have to do, yada yada yada. But I am curious if they're the type of people that's like pushing on brands and companies to be more accommodating to big people, when it's like these companies aren't accommodating the skinny people. Like, you have to be a certain weight to go on a ride. You can't be paper thin, you'll fly out the ride. So, like, you do need to be in this little safe haven of, like, not too big, not too small, but I can't tell what their stick is. Like, I like the last video, they're giving tips for plus size people. I'm not gonna give any harm against that. But if you start trying to mandate stuff, that's where I have a problem.
Hoppers, and we range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus size tips and tricks. On this ride, you enter through the castle gates and down the familiar passageways and corridors of Hogwarts. We highly recommend trying the test seats in the front of the ride. The ride vehicle consists of one row with several seats. The seats are molded, which can be uncomfortable if you have larger hips or thighs. The safety mechanism for this ride is a chest restraint. Katie in the blue skirt wears a size 3X top and 22 pants, and her hips are 65 inches. The team member was nice enough to help us with the test seat, but unfortunately, even with some pushing,
You don't need to be on a ride if you gotta push down that hard. That's just bad.
Katie was not able to get the green light for this ride. My name is Stephanie and I am wearing the gray shorts. I wear a size 2X top and size 20 pants, and my hips are 60 inches. With some help from the team member, I was able to get the green light on this test seat. It definitely wasn't the most comfortable seat ever, but it wasn't the least comfortable at Universal either. I have been on this ride before and it was pretty cool, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. One thing to keep in mind is that there is a moving walkway to get into the ride vehicle, so you will have to situate yourself while the ride is moving. There is a non-moving transfer station as well if you do have trouble with moving walkways.
I get it. Okay. And they have I'm not, this is too much. They have another video talking about how their ankles get a rash from walking a lot and to be mindful of that. It's like, if you're putting this much work into all this content, why not put this much work into being more healthy? Like, not even trying to fat shame, not even trying to be mean, but it's just like, at this rate, plus size park hoppers, you're making all this money by just being big and going to theme parks. So are you even gonna feel motivated to lose all the weight? They seem helpful. They seem like very sweet women. They really do. But it is sad that we're at this point where there's this many big people where we're giving y'all tips and tricks on how to travel and go to theme parks. As if you can't just lose weight. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but it can be done. It's all around us. There are weight loss programs, there's working out, there's changing your diet, your habits, the whole nine. There's things you can do, but it's just a matter of getting up and doing it. And if you can get up and book flights and go to theme parks, this, that, and the other, you can diet.
So I just got out of the GI doctor and I've been struggling with like abdominal cramping for a month now, and no doctor will.
I'm so sorry. It's just when people record themselves crying, I'm just like, where are we going here? You really popped up this camera and you're crying right now.
Like, listen to me. So I finally got this new GI doctor that I had to fight for, and I told him that I haven't been eating because it causes pain, and like I'm in pain when I eat. And he looked at me and had the audacity to say, maybe that's not such a bad thing. I'm so upset. I'm so upset.
Oh my God. I mean, he could have said it a different way, but like, you're this big, you're having this many ailments, you're having this many health issues. Is not eating that bad? It's like, sure, in this case, that doctor could have said that a little bit different, but if we're gonna boil it down to the truth of the matter, there were no obese people in Auschwitz. Like, everybody was skinny, everybody was bone thin because no one was eating. So it kind of does go back to, what are you ingesting in your body and how are you taking care of your own health? The doctor has some points when it comes to slowing down on eating and taking control of your metabolism. Much like today's sponsor of this video, Lumen, and this awesome device has helped me feel better, fast better, and gain more control of my metabolism. Lumen is a handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism and whether or not you're burning more fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. That way, Lumen can continue to give you the best tips to optimize your health. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything that your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a ton of health benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and much, much more. There's no more guessing into what your body is doing or how you're going to feel. You're going on a hike, Lumen can tell you if you need more carbs before your hike so you're not burnt out afterwards. Wanting to lose more weight, Lumen helps you tap into your metabolic health to give you a nutrition plan that helps you lose weight naturally. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/Amir for 15% off your order. That's lumen.me/Amir for 15% off your order. Again, thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring today's episode. All right, so this content creator named Samira, her whole stick with social media is she goes around to different like stores and tries to find the 3X, 4X, and 5X in stores. So she feels like since she's plus size, since she's big, she should be able to buy her clothes in stores like everybody else. Plot twist though, not everybody's as big as you. And even though these brands may sell the clothes, they may not always be in the store. And I think that's personally okay because again, plot twist, the world doesn't revolve around you. So without further ado, let's just get into what she has to say.
You think American Eagle has plus sizes? Child, come on. Okay, so I went and found some of the biggest sizes they have. I got a 18, another 18 in this low-rise maxi skirt, and then an extra large in this skirt that I saw in the front on the mannequin. So since you say they got clothes for us, let's put them on. We've officially gone from mini skirt to micro skirt, and I can't turn around because my behind is out. Let's just try the maxi skirt. But this is why we shop at American Eagle, right? It's the biggest size they have in store.
You can easily go online and find clothes that fit you and you will be okay. And if you want more clothes that fit you, you're gonna have to get down to a healthier weight that more brands sell because everybody is that weight. But no one wants to aspire to be that big because it's genuinely unhealthy to be that big. It's a sign. Not hateful, not being mean. It's just genuinely like you're looking to be upset. You're looking to get angry at something. You're looking to complain and go on social media. And for what? When you can obviously go online to the stores and get what you're wanting.
And I think the biggest they go up to was like a 20. Though they used to go up to 24. Took them out though. That sounds quite familiar, right? Stuff it in. I quit.
These almost worked.
If you order through us, it'll be free shipping. I have a 22, but it does give me the option of a 20.
That'll be too small. What about the skirt?
The blue one?
Yeah, I think this is like an extra large. Do they have a 3X or like something? Or
Yeah, I have a double XL.
oh, that'll also be too small. Would that just be the 20 and these two as well?
Yeah, I think it only goes up to a 20.
I could have sworn American Eagle had like the 24s and stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
no worries. Thank you.
I don't know how else to put it, honestly. It's literally shop at stores that work for you or create a store that will work for you. But until that point in time, finding your sizes is not going to happen because not everybody is your size. Nor does it make sense for a brand to keep everything in stock at all their locations for the oddity for the one time that someone your size decides to come in the store. Like, I've worked retail before. I know how often they're changing the floor. I know how often they're sending things back. At that, majority of the stuff that you see on the sales rack are all the clothes that are discounted because they're too big and they weren't sold. So it's honestly just, it's sad to see this person act this way, and it's frustrating that someone can feel this self-entitled and this, I guess, just so victim mentality just because of the size of their weight that they do have control over. You don't have to live this way. You don't have to make your whole social media, but now this person's making all this money, again, harping on this issue, and it's like, it's a very clear fix on what you probably should be doing with your body and your lifestyle.
Using the word skinny to market products that have fewer calories or are healthier is fatphobic. Skinny pop, skinny cow, with the tape measure tied around the waist. And you can try to change the logo, but it's still fatphobic. Skinny girl. Egregious.
Is it fatphobic? Is it skinny phobic to have all these fat models around? Because if you're gonna boil it down to the difference between like what being skinny is and what being fat is, you know, you have large sizes in food and you have large shirts. So it's ordering a large, is it discriminatory because it's also in line of large being more calories, a large shirt being more fabric? A skinny drink, a skinny this, skinny that, less calories, like a small shirt, someone being skinny, it makes sense. Like, at what point are we gonna stop with all these phobics, y'all? At what point? Surely. Like, when will these phobics come to an end? Because everything can be a phobic at this rate. If you're talking about being skinny and marketing skinny is being fat phobic, then all this marketing towards big people can be skinny phobic. Can it not? Am I the delusional one?
I can always identify someone who doesn't have a great grasp on history if they see medicalization as a stamp of inherent virtue. This comes up a lot when I talk about how the word obese is a slur. At least one person will always pop their head out of the ground to say, obese is a medical term, as if that somehow makes it better. You know what else used to be a medical term? Like a lot of bad shit we don't say anymore, because we realized it was stigmatizing as fuck and it actively harmed people.
I'm gonna say this in a very nice way, Try to at least. You're big. Obese. Overweight. Whatever term you want to use for it. You are unhealthy. Because again, them people up in Auschwitz, they were not obese. They were not big. Obese is not a slur. It just is what it is. What do you want? Obese doesn't even sound mean. You're actively harming yourself by being that big, but instead you're focused on other people saying you're obese and calling it for what it is.
You can Google them. I'm not going to say them here. Science and language are both constantly evolving and updating. The medical establishment is not exempt from this. If anything, it's actually a particularly strong example of how this happens. We don't need to look too far back into history at all to see how medical terminology and practices change. For example, homosexuality is no longer diagnosed as a mental illness.
We're not gonna put homosexuality in the same bucket as being obese. Like, I get it, it did used to be described as a mental illness, but we're talking about someone and somebody being big, not a sexual preference, not how their body responds to other bodies. We're talking about just genuinely just being big, and you're off the gamut, just talking about so many different things.
Female hysteria is not something that's diagnosed anymore. Cocaine and heroin are no longer prescribed as anesthetics or cough suppressants. Lysol cleaning spray is no longer used as a douche. We don't perform ice pick lobotomies anymore. And doctors no longer advocate for the health benefits of smoking cigarettes. Oops. More importantly, when a marginalized group tells you that a word or practice harms them, you can just go ahead and believe them.
You're self-marginalized. You're just big. You see, when I make this content on these big people, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be spiteful. I'm really not trying to be mean. I'm really trying to be like respectfully like critiquing and, you know, giving my opinion and viewpoint on all of this. But some people make it extremely hard to, when they just want to sit here, play the victim and like point fingers at everything else that doesn't even match up with what they're talking about in the first place. You're generally just big. You're generally just obese. You can lose weight. You can do all these things to change how you are. I cannot change that I'm gay. I cannot change that I'm black. You're not going to equate being big to any of those attributes. That's what you're not going to do. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up. The math doesn't math.
And this is like maybe a controversial take, but I don't think that the majority of fat people, until you learn about body liberation and body positivity, no one would choose to continue to be fat in a world where they absolutely hate fat people. People think that I'm glorifying obesity by spreading the word and like telling everybody about this information. Trust me, I wouldn't recommend anybody be fat in this world. It is horrible.
You know what? I'm gonna let this one finish. I want to see what they have to say.
It is so traumatizing. It is so isolating. People are evil. They are cruel.
No, we're not gonna go to this whole people are evil and people are cruel. You know what's so isolating? You know what's so painful? You know what's like going through a lot of harm in the world for being big? Your lungs, your organs, your bones being crushed, all these different things. That's what's cruel, not the people. What's cruel is how you're treating your body and your vessel. What's cruel is how you're treating the one thing. You only get one. You only get one. You only get one, and this is how you're treating it. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No one would want to be big, but you shouldn't even desire to be big. It's kind of, I don't want to advocate people being mean or anything, but it's kind of good that being this big is stigmatized, because at the end of the day, it's not healthy for you. It never really works out. All these fat influencers keep dying. Why? Because they're big. It's not rocket science. It's not hateful. It's not cruel. Like, people aren't cool for calling it out for what it is. If anything, they're caring, because they genuinely, it's a fact. Like, they know where this leads to. And deep down, you should too. You should be feeling it. Like, the sleep apnea, the diabetes, the weight gain, the GI issues. There's so many things that go wrong with just being big as it is. Instead of focusing on and highlighting how there's cruel people out there, and out there people in the world are being mean, you're being mean to your own body. Your body is screaming for help. Your heart, your lungs, your liver, all of it. It needs help. Focus on that, not other people.
They are cruel. Strangers think it's okay to tell you on the bus, you're fat, you should lose weight, you're disgusting. Like, it's nonstop. And that leads to people isolating themselves and like seeking comfort through food.
Break through it. Break the cycle. It sucks that there's people that mean and that bold, but at the end of the day, they're always going to exist. There really are. Like, I'm a fool to think no one will ever be racist, no one will ever be homophobic. Like, I'm gonna strive for it to be as low as it can, but I'm a fool to think that it's just gonna be erased. It's never gonna exist. Same thing for being big. If anything, that's the one thing you can change. It gets more hateful and harmful if someone's saying, oh, like, you're gay. Oh, you're black. That's horrible. That's more hurtful than someone just saying, oh, you're big, because you can change it. Like, you actively have the willpower in you to change how you look and how you feel and what you eat and if you work out or not. You control that more than you may realize. And you're stronger than defaulting to, well, then it makes you feel more isolated and you have to seek more comfort food. No, those are the inner demons you fight through. Those are the inner demons that you fight to push down and say, no, what? No, I'm not succumbing to this. I will be a better version of myself. I will get skinnier. I will be a healthy weight, because that's genuinely just not healthy.
Fat phobia is bad for all women, not just fat women. And I think that's the thing that people don't get. Like, yes, obviously it's bad for fat women, but it's also bad for thin women. Even if you're currently winning the whatever beauty standard that we have, by subscribing to that, you are setting yourself up for failure, because now you have put the threat in place that if your body changes, your value will be lost. By putting your value and your worth in your body shape and size, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Your liver is set up for failure.
And even if you never fail, that threat will be hanging over you forever. Is that really a world you want to live in? Is that a world you want for your friends and your family? Is that a world you want for your daughters and your nieces? Like, because men use it as a threat to make women feel bad about themselves. They're like, oh, what if you gain weight? How many times have you heard men use that? It is so common because it's such a powerful tool. It is a tool of the patriarchy.
Men need to lose weight too. These big old beer bellies and whatnot in the 40s and 50s, they need to take care of their health too. It's not just isolated to women, but what you mainly see in these videos is big women making this big women content. It's like the main thing you should be striving for is just being healthy. That's not a bad thing to strive to be healthy. It's not a bad thing to maintain and be kind of cautious of your health. It's a good thing. You're promoting the longevity of your life by putting this forward and paying attention to it. It's not a bad thing. It can be unhealthy. Body dysmorphia, bulimia. There are unhealthy things that can stem from being too focused on your health, but at the same time, it's better than being that. Like, at least you're actively trying to put your body forward and make it feel better. But I'm not gonna strive for liver failure and stomach failure and heart failure and all these different things. That's just not what I'm gonna do.
Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking, or wakes up early in the morning, or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fatphobic. Just like lumping all black people in one group and saying, I don't like black people is racist. And lumping all disabled people in one group and saying, I don't think people in wheelchairs are hot, is ableist.
You cannot equate someone being black or someone being disabled to the optional choice of being obese. That's not how this works. Having a preference over someone's body size honestly makes a little more sense, because it goes to show how you take care of yourself, what you prioritize in your life. It is a very good telltale sign if you take care of yourself or not. I don't understand where this whole marginalized attitude is coming from. Oh, fat people are marginalized, you know, damn it, everybody marginalized. Everybody trying to claim something, claim a title, claim a oppression point. It's like, no one's forcing you to be that big. Like, you I said this before, you can't put an option like being big on the same level as something you can't choose, like a being black or being disabled. Those are just things that just happen. You don't just happen to be big. You're big, and you can change that. I can't change my skin color. A person being disabled, they can't change being disabled, but you can change being big. Marginalized in that effort is like things you can't help, but this is something that you can. Again, it's all these people voicing their opinions and being upset over what? Why are you fighting this hard to be a marginalized individual? Why are you fighting this hard to equate all these things that don't even equate to begin with? Honestly, I think what's frustrating the most about this entire topic of being fat positive and the body positivity and the fat influencers, it's that, one, they feel feel this marginalized, they feel this at harm for being big, which is their choice to begin with, which I will give them a defense in that there are a lot of big people who were born big. And what I mean by born, well, raised big. Like a lot of these big people were also big as kids, and that's at the parents' fault, which I do think personally should be a topic of discussion. It's like, if there's a kid that's like skin and bones, you can call the CPS on the parents and the parents will get in trouble for malnutrition. So why can't the same be said for obese children? You can get charged with malnutrition, but you can't be charged with predisposition towards diseases? You know, it never made sense to me. So it is sad that these people feel this helpless and this unfortunate that they can't even help their own bodies, and they have to default to feeling oppressed and hop online and complain and hipper and holler about clothing sizes or food choices. It's like they fail to realize how much control they do have over their own life and the changes that they can make. No one's preventing you or stopping you from being the best version of yourself. No one's stopping you from not going to the gym. You can go to the gym. You can work out. You can change your habits. You can stop eating. There's things you can do to not be that big. There's things you can do to not get certain diseases. There are things you can do to take care of your health and body. But are you going to do that? That's up to you. You have to want it. And what we've seen in this video, there's a lot of people who don't want it. And to the beginning of the video, the fat influencers with the theme park people, on one end, are you now motivated to stay big because that's what your income is, much like these mukbang people and all the fat influencers that they've been eating online? They end up getting super, super big because that's their content. It makes me wonder, will you ever be motivated to lose weight to begin with? One, but then two, it's like, I get it. It is helpful for some other big people if they're trying to go out and they want to go to Disney World and like they're trying to see what they can and cannot do. But to me, that just tells me your priorities are just not in line. Like, strive to be fit to where you're not even in question of whether or not you can fit on a roller coaster. Like, it's not rocket science to me, but apparently all the content that we've gone through that we found, it is rocket science for a lot of people. You know, people are saying that it's fatphobic and racist. It's to say obese and it's a slur when it's everything but. You're not marginalized, and it's not a slur for saying, for calling it out for what it is. It's sad making this content. It's frustrating making this content, but I do it because it always defaults back to laws that people are trying to push forward, like universal health care. I don't want my tax money in these health care, these taxes. Listen, there's a lot of people in my life that I know, including me, who are the amount they pay in taxes are some people's salaries. So when we see all this money going, I don't want it to go to free healthcare because these people are not taking care of their health. That is self-evident. That is really one of the only reasons why I speak out against being big and this whole like fat positivity, body positivity thing. Because one, I actually care. Like, I don't want it to be normalized. Like, being big and being fat is just naturally unhealthy. And I will urge all my friends that are big, whatever it may be, to make healthier decisions. But two, I don't want any input. I don't want anything to do with a free healthcare when that's how you're treating your body. That's where I'm at. So let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear your opinion as always. Again, thank you for sharing the content and subscribing. It means the world to me. Cannot believe we're almost at 300,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. We just hit 200. I want to say like April, May, I think we hit 200,000 subscribers, and now we're already at 300, which, I mean, shit, at this point, my ankle itch. We're on the road to 1 million end of next year. That's my goal. I want to hit 1 million by the age I turn 30 on YouTube. We're gonna see if we can make that happen, and if so, that'll be popping. But without further ado, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you a ton. To all my Patreon supporters, love you guys greatly. Love hanging out in the Discord, love hanging out on Patreon, and our Patreon only podcast that features all of you guys in it. It's called The Moment. It's a great podcast where I sit down and interview you and talk about your life and the moment that really impacted you. So I really do enjoy that. And yeah, like I said before, much more content on the way. I'm really amping this up. I want to put out at the bare minimum a video a week, if not more. I know sometimes I do spurts of videos and then sometimes, you know, one a week, but I'm trying to get into a flow, a good rhythm. But again, it all defaults back to making sure that what I'm saying is coherent and making sure that what I'm saying is valuable. I don't want to just pump out content just to pump out content. I want to make sure that there's value in it, that you do get entertainment, that you do get facts, that you do get valuable opinions, and make it worthwhile and make it worth your time. So with that being said, you know, I appreciate and love you guys a ton. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Deuces.